And welcome, everybody. Thank you all for joining. It's John, the Net Guy, and we are live for Tech on Tuesday. This just happens to be, number 13, lucky 13. Well, I'm checking again here on the stats because, as usual, Amazon didn't start up. And so I've got to get over to this computer here real quick and do a couple little housekeeping notes here. Bear with me here. We're going to let some people kind of funnel in anyway. So this wasn't the end of the world, but I want to make sure everybody gets to watch this show because we put a lot of prep work into it. It's going to be really, really slick. So definitely say hi in the chat. I want to thank a couple people real quick here. And we'll go to the second camera for this. This is Tim. He is doing camera work and doing an excellent job of it. Let's get around this way. We got Zach. Howdy. He's doing our moderation. So that means be good in the chat, just saying. So we will know who's been naughty and who's been nice, and we will take them out of the chat if we have to. But the goal here is to do a show if Amazon will play nicely. And it says it's online, but as usual, it does not want to play. So give me 1 second here. I'll do that. Change one more value, and we're going to give them the old college try. Hopefully you guys are having a great Tuesday night. Let me know in the chat if you can how the audio sounds. We're doing a headset microphone here. It's wireless. If the audio sounds like bunk, nobody's going to want to watch the video. So just give me a quick help on there. Oh, see, I can put stuff out here on the chat by just clicking on it. I could say that. And, here, my wife's already picking on me. Don't forget to clean up after the show. Yes, we have taken over my entire kitchen. This is where I feed my family. And it was so funny. You know, I do my tech shows. I send them to people I know. And they're like, I just don't get it. You're not speaking my language, right? I was like, well, everybody's got to eat. You know, this is a perfect show, you know. I do have some really, really cool stuff to show you guys. I'm going to check in here and see if Amazon has corrected itself. We're going to run over there, save, preview, waiting for stream data. Oh, it's coming to you, Amazon. I know the trick now after last time. So, although for the record, I can't pass reCAPTCHA. That is awesome. Yeah. I got to quit reading the chats here. I'm going to start laughing, and then the show's going to all go down there. Give me 1 second here. You know, it doesn't like that one. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm going to trash this live stream on Amazon. I'm going to create a new one. We're going to add a thumbnail image from my recent photos because I just created one. Sorry to have to do this, guys. You know, usually I do this way ahead of time. But Amazon's been doing some major upgrades lately. How did I sound, by the way? That was the other thing that we wanted to check just to make sure. And I'm going to add the products. I need to tell it external, title, Tech on Tuesday, number 13, kitchen tech, save, preview. Close out of that. Let that drop off for a second, and then we'll do that. I do want to talk about our show sponsor today. I don't know, Tim, if that can come down a hair. I'm just seeing my ceiling. Yeah, there we go. So our show sponsor today is actually a company that reached out to me called TickTime. We're going to use this a whole bunch. It's a handy utility kitchen timer. And the cool thing about this is that we're going to be timing stuff that we're cooking. We're going to be cooking steaks. We're going to be cooking chicken, cooking fish. We're cooking all sorts of stuff. And accurate timing is going to be really important, especially keeping the show on schedule. So trick about this is as soon as you lay it down, it starts counting down that time. I'm going to go over here to the second camera so you guys can see that, hopefully. So right there, it's got this 29 minutes going on, and that's because I put it down on the 30 side. So if I pull that up, you can see it counting down right now, right? It is pretty slick here. So That's how it works. Again, it's got a bunch of sides, 6 sides here. If I want a 3-minute timer, I just lay it down on the 3-minute side, and you guys can see that. It's counting down for 3 minutes, right? Cool other features that it has a stopwatch feature if I put it down there. Now, what it's actually doing is it's doing a stopwatch. It's counting a certain amount of time, and as soon as I flip it over, on the top of that was 9 seconds, right? Well, you can actually lay it down, do another 3 minutes, or by pressing both buttons, you can set it down to whatever you want. You can reset the time values. I'm going to set it back to 3, set it back down. So you can see how that works. So it sets to those basic values. If I reset that, I can go to, hey, I want a 5-second timer there. So hopefully you guys can see that. I'm just trying to get it in the camera here. 5-second timer from TickTime. I'm going to run that, and when it's done, hopefully you guys can hear that. There you go. So that is the TickTime. I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. This is from the company TickTime. They're actually the sponsor of today's show, so they're going to let me give away an absolutely brand new TickTime for yourself. So if you're a homeschool parent, if you're somebody that likes to cook, if you're just anybody that needs to keep 3, 5, 10, 15, 25, or 30-minute increments, or whatever custom one you choose, definitely take a look at these. I'm going to give you some information on how to enter the TickTime giveaway. So if you look in the description, hopefully it's right there, and on the lower thirds there, you're going to see that TickTime. I'm going to kick on the Amazon people again, and we're going to see if it's going to work, or if we're just going to have to run with it and re-record it on Amazon. So they get what they get, right? We're going to crash that. We're going to pull it up here real quick. Waiting for stream data. It still says that. I'm going to make sure I don't have any extra spaces in my name or URL. I'm just checking one more thing. Sorry, guys. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not getting the Amazon to start, and I just created a whole brand new one, and she still doesn't want to work. So we are going to have to check that one more time. RTMP, settings, live, saved, off, edit, save, on. Let's try that. Sending data. This is usually foolproof, but they built a better fool in me, unfortunately. So that was the TickTime was the first product we were showing up here on the carousel. Like I said, go ahead and take a look at that URL in the lower left. Hey, Amazon decided to play nice. In 3, 2, 1, we're going live with Amazon. Hey, welcome Amazon shopper. It's John, the Net Guy, and we are taking a look at kitchen gadgets and kitchen tech. Today's show is sponsored by TickTime. I just showed a quick demonstration of what the TickTime has to offer. I'm going to pull that up on the carousel so other people, if they're looking for a cool gadget, cool home timer, can use one of these. I'm actually going to switch over to our third camera here and just show it to you on this one here. So this is the timer. What's cool about it is if you can't program your VCR, if you have that kind of trouble, you can literally just lay this thing down. That's all you got to do. To program this thing, you literally just pick the side you want. If I want 15 minutes, I lay it on the 15. And if you look at that, it's counting down to 15. If I want it to go to 25, I switch over there. It's counting down to 25 minutes. And it's super highly accurate, as you can see there. Like I said, if you want to set it to something, you can actually just push the buttons here, and this is the seconds. So we're going to give it a 5-second timer. That is the 5 seconds on the TickTime. And there you go. Hopefully you guys can hear that, and it's not just obnoxiously beeping. I think you have to come down again, Tim. I want my eyes about like 2/3. Sorry. We're working on a new tripod here. I think it's slipping on us, but Keep going, 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 keep going. They're locked. The top of the cabinets. That's perfect. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, our new tripod slip in there. So if you are watching on Amazon, I encourage you to hit the follow button. That would be just awesome. It helps me out, helps me get more followers on Amazon. I want to do the Saturday shows, be the A-list celebrity on Amazon. I know, life goals, right? But if I can get on the A-list, I can start giving away more cool products. Speaking of such, I'm actually going to pull up the giveaway page here that I've been showing you. So it's thenetguy.com/time. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is I just want to show you how you can enter this giveaway and the rules for the giveaway. So I'm going to pull it up real quick here, just so you guys know what's going on here. Go ahead and put your name and your email, plus put something nice, appropriate to show in the prize wheel. Nothing inappropriate. The mod's going to have to clear it out or something, right? So this is a friendly game. I was also going to say, if you have a chance right now, if you can hit that share button that's on Amazon, it's on YouTube, it's on Twitch, it's on all those, share this to a few friends. If I can get 20 subs during this show, I'm not only going to give away the Tick Time, I'm actually going to also give away the Sensora meat thermometers, and that's for the second and third place winner. Now, if we can do something crazy like get maybe 40 or 50 people, which I don't know is going to happen, Tim, but we'll see. If we can do that, I'm actually going to give away branded. This was supposed to have a NetGuy logo, but it's been a week. I'll just tell you that. But I will give away NetGuy branded for the second and third aprons for you to take home, with pockets, by the way. And I'll still give away the Sensora, so we'll get that. So looking for subs, looking for followers that want to see this cool stuff. Again, that is the Tick Time. Let me pull it up on the Amazon page as well. If you guys ever want to know how to get the products that I'm showing, just visit the URL. It's amazon.com/shop/thenetguy. Now, they changed it a little bit here recently. Honestly, it's not as good as it was, I think. But if you come down here to idea lists, every single show I do, I put a list of products together. So these are all the products that are shown on the live show. And if you click on that list, you're going to see the products that are coming up, which is pretty cool. You get a little head start if you're doing your shopping. And in this case, the Tick Time was the first product, so you can click on it. Now, the Tick Time itself, they show a bunch of different use cases of it. Again, super simple, quick timing if you need 3, 5, 10 minutes, 25 minutes, and so on. I'm actually going to use it throughout the show. Tim and Zach are going to keep me honest, hopefully, right, guys? Because we're going to have to check in on things. So some of the stuff we're cooking later is going to be like check every 5 minutes. So how cool is that? Instead of hitting like buttons on my stove, I can just flick the tick timer over, and now I've got a 5-minute timer, which is pretty slick. So I can tell you a funny story about this. Actually, with this stove, we had Grandma come over and watch all the kids so we could go on a date. And she put the pizzas in, and she did 12:00, which every person would do, right? Which was, on this stove, 12 hours. That pizza plate had a burn hole in it this big. I'll tell you, kids still ate it, thank goodness. But I was just going to point that out real quick. How are we looking on the chat, Zach? Everybody doing good? Uh-oh. Okay, let's go back over here and see if we can get Kren's question up. Kren is saying, is it open to outside the U.S.? For Kren, it is. Everybody else, it's shut down, if you read the rules. Kren is our show sponsor here. We haven't run the Kren graphic, have we? Let's see what'll happen over here. I wonder if we can get that going. Oh. Single click.
G'day, mates.
Thank you, and welcome to our Aussie connection. I don't have my American flag up here, but he was actually talking about sending me a flag, which I think would be really cool. I would totally run with that. So just wanted to show that real quick, you guys. Thank you so much again. First item we're going to do, I got to feed these guys that are helping me today, and I thought, what better to feed them than chicken wings? And now the NetGuy has added a few pounds during COVID is the nice way to say it, I think. And deep fried chicken wings are one of my favorite things of all times. I was in a dart league, and I just loved having deep fried food. It is not good for the waistline. But these guys sent me out the Yu-Yi air fryer here. I don't know if we can pull that up on the caption there. But the Yu-Yi air fryer, this is a 6.8 quart air fryer. Now, if you're not into cooking, I actually talked to a coworker today. She was like, I don't like cooking because it makes a big mess. I'm going to show you how easily you can cook something. In this Yuyi air fryer, super easy to make chicken wings, asparagus, fish, sweet potato fries, all that stuff without the deep frying of oil, which was awesome. It has 8 different programmable modes, or is this the 12 one? This is the 12 one. So it's got 12 different programmable modes. Honestly, I just go ahead and put the temperature in and the time. I'm just that way, and I watch it. But that's something that you can do if you just want to hit an easy button and you want to hit the French fries and you want French fries to come out perfect. That's what you can do. So the Yuyi air fryer is first up on the show. I'm going to pull it up here, and that's this big unit back here. Now, there's lots of really cool things about this unit. I'm going to see if I can pull up this one here. Okay, here we go. Got Zach in the back there working. Actually, I'm going to pull it over on this one. Sorry. So, a couple things that are really important about this air fryer. First, size. If you get a cheaper air fryer, you're going to get a smaller basket. This one can fit pretty much a whole chicken. I'm looking at like 4 to 5 pounds. So again, take chicken out of the bag. It's debatable whether you rinse them off or not, at least drain them. But then you can season the outside of a rotisserie chicken. You can drop it right in, put it in, and cook it, and you're done. So you've pretty much got a one-pot meal. Other really cool thing about this, you'll notice this clear spot here. If you push that forward and then push down, you actually release the basket. So now I can take the basket out and I can go do the filling work, all the other stuff that I need. It's pretty cool like that. I can add oil to this if I don't want it to stick, but to be honest, I've done fries and a bunch of other stuff, and I haven't put any oil at all. So you're getting an oil-free there. One of my other friends, John, he actually said that they use avocado oil, the spray. Works really, really well with it, and you're not adding a ton of oil. So that's the Yuyi air fryer. I want to pull that up actually on the carousel. I got to remind myself. And there's somebody in the chat saying it is so easy to clean, which is absolutely true. That might be my wife, because I like to make a mess. I'm pretty much a bull in a china shop when it comes to cooking. So the kitchen is destroyed, and I'm like, you know that old rule, I cook, you clean? She's figured it out that, on days that she cooks, she cleans too. So she's not so happy about that, unfortunately. But this is almost a one-pot meal. And actually, to show you how to use it, I'm going to make my wing recipe. So I'm going to slide this thing off to the side a little bit here. I do want to tell you about the recipes that they do have, though. So they have a complete recipe book here. And this recipe book has 35 different recipes. Hey, there's our tick time. Show sponsor came in at 5 minutes. I'm just going to set it up because I don't want it to remind us. There's lots of cool stuff. So there's an eggplant recipe. I need to point you to a recipe that I'm actually going to see if the wife will try with me. It's on page 63 here. Check that out. That is a scone recipe. I love scones, but I don't know how to make them, honestly. And so I'm like, okay, so this thing can make scones inside that basket there. Obviously, that's one. This is one that the kids are going to love. That is literally French toast sticks. So you can do French toast right out of the air fryer. Don't have to do a ton extra in this. Basically, the overview on this one, it's a 400-degree oven with convection. Most regular ovens, they don't circulate the air. You kind of get that stagnant 400-degree hot air or higher. The other cool place that we would use this a lot, and we've actually used our Instapot in there as well, is camping. We do the glamping thing. We do the RV camping. And so with all of our kids, we want something that we can throw in and cook pretty quickly, which this accomplishes. Or in the case of a slow cooker or something else, we can cook over several hours. But we can plug this in, and I'm telling you, that's exactly what was going to happen. The power cord got that one. But we can plug this thing in our RV, in a site wherever we're camping, and make dinner really, really, really quick. So I'm actually going to set this off to the side just to make that first recipe for you guys. And if you got questions, let me know. I just want to go through a couple things real quick here. We talked about the different automatic modes. I'm going to talk about some safety stuff once I've actually made the recipe. I'm going to talk about a little bit of safety stuff that you're going to want to think about with this. Just because, again, it does put out hot air. It's basically like a portable oven. So if you're at a rental or a place that doesn't have a good oven, or you don't want to that big of a mess, or you don't want to put a big sheet pan in, this can work really well. I'm going to pull out our wings. Now, I just bought these yesterday, and I did not make these ahead of time. I had some friends that were asking, they're like, how many times am I going to hear, oh, I prepared this? Okay, a couple times today. You're going to hear that because a couple of these things I couldn't do. You can do this recipe with a pound, 5 pounds, 10 pounds. The nice thing about it is scales up, so if you need more, just add more. This is the chicken wings I buy. They come in 2.5 pounds, which these are like Superman chickens. I'm telling you, I don't understand it. I like wings all sizes, but these ones are so big. I think we're going to get about 6 in each tray here, but I'm going to pull this up on the side camera. Okay, so now you see the wings here. I'm going to separate them a little bit. Now, this one's a little bit frozen to the other one. They've been thawing out a little over a day, but what I wanted to tell you about that, you don't have to worry at all. You can actually take frozen wings, put them into the fryer tray, give them 10 minutes, pull them back out, and do exactly what I'm doing here now. So don't feel like you're committed. So I'm going to take and grab a couple paper towels, because I want to start to dry these things out a little bit. They're going to take on the seasoning a little better. Some people say do not rinse your chicken, because I think it was some sort of health department thing. They basically realized as people were like washing chickens that they were spreading everything around their kitchen. So they were making a huge mess, and they were actually making it worse. So I'm going to grab what looks to be about a pound of wings here. I like the flats. Tim, are you flat or either or? Okay, so he's an either or guy. We got, well, that's only 6, it looks like. Good. That's a Arnold Schwarzenegger one there. I'm going to switch that out. I want to do 7, just lucky number 7 here. We'll do the rest on the next pass here. So I put them in there just real quick because I want those to dry out. The drier the wings are, the better they're going to do in here, and the crispier they're going to get. So we're not deep frying here, right? We can't rely on deep frying oil. So I'm going to take this small ramekin, and we're going to grab a small measuring spoon if we have one. Now, you can use the measurements however you want. I'm kind of one of those like loosey-goosey measurers, right? Doesn't have to be exact. So we're going to start out smoked paprika. Got to do that. And of course, it's not going to fit in there. I'm going to do at least 1 teaspoon for this size of a batch. Now, paprika is not hot. Now, if you want to put this hot, you do cayenne pepper. That'll make it hot. Now, if you want it to be kind of meaty and earthy, the next ingredient, the cumin, is the one that's going to give it that meaty, earthy texture. And I'm not doing a full teaspoon there, but that's going to give it kind of that meaty feel. Everybody loves garlic, right? Solid. Now, be really careful when you do garlic. Now, of course, this is my wife's redone ones in our kitchen. We have everything. It has to transfer from the one that came from the store into this one. I don't know why, but make sure you're doing garlic powder versus garlic salt. Now, if you do salt separately, then you have a lot more control. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. What do you throw this over your shoulder, right? I'm going to actually throw this out. Sorry. I was talking, not pouring, right? So there is a little bit of extra garlic. I like pepper. Straight on in. And a little bit on the counter for good measure. There we go. Now, what I was saying about the salt is if you get garlic salt, you're not going to control the amount of salt. You can do a little bit of salt, do a little bit extra salt. You can do more salt. Really, you only need about a half teaspoon of salt. You don't need a ton of salt, and you can always salt the surface on this if you really are worried about it. Let me go over here real quick. I'm just going to grab something to mix this with. Okay, so if everything's working out, you're going to get a mixture that looks just like that. So this is that recipe we just talked through, and we did it together. Also, I'm going to take out that drying towel that I have, and I'm going to put it out. Now, I'm touching just the dry spot of it, so my hands are still clean. Obviously, we're working with chicken parts here. Now, you could pour all of this out. I will probably make a little bit more, to be honest, when it comes to doing the other wings. So this one did about a pound of wings if you're using a teaspoon measurement. If you want to do 2.5 pounds, 3 pounds, you could just use up everything to a tablespoon instead of a teaspoon. That's 3 to 1. So you can do that. This is going to look pretty good. Now what's cool about that fryer, and what I find really neat about it, I can remove the basket from it. Here, so I'm just removing the basket alone, taking it over here. Now, I'm going to do the oil just to show you how it's done, but honestly, the chicken has just enough oil on the surface that you don't have to do this, but this is that avocado oil that I was talking about. That works really well. And we can literally just spray the bottom where it's going to touch. That's all you got to do. I'm going to put that to the side. Mix the chicken. Again, this is the part where all the seasoning is going to get evenly distributed. And the better you did drying, the more evenly distributed it's going to get. So we're going to do that. Now you don't have to preheat. That's another interesting thing on this. So we're going to do that. Sometimes you can. Some things, like we cooked pork chops, we preheated it a little bit, but generally you don't have to preheat. I'm going to take this out of here, and I'm going to slide it right in to the air fryer. Now, I'm actually going to unplug some of the appliances. This thing uses 1650 watts. It is definitely one of those appliances that's going to use quite a bit. I'm going to go back out wide. I don't know, Tim, if you're able to zoom in on this screen. It's that first ring on that camera. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Tim's coming in. I love it. Okay, this is going to work. I didn't prep him for this. Sorry, guys. We're going to do 370 here. So all I did was hit the power, and now it's going 370 for 15 minutes. What I was talking about safety, just make sure you have a lot of open air volume. If your counters are lower, you know, it's going to be okay because this is where the air intake is, but the hot air comes out of the bottom sides, and it comes out of the back as well. Now, what's cool about this is I turn it back on, 370. We're going to do 15 minutes or so. I want to check on this thing every 5 minutes, right? 5-minute timer. I'm going to set it down, and now I know exactly how long that's going to take. Now, I promised these guys more food than just chicken, so I'm going to set that over here. I'm going to grab, ooh, I don't know. They're going to fit in that, I think. I'm going to grab this dish, and we are going to make another of my recipes. This is going to be an asparagus. What's cool about this asparagus is done in 7 minutes. So if you're not like a cook, if you're somebody that says, I want to eat healthier, but I don't know, I don't know any recipes. I don't know this thing is so easy. You can't lose on this one. So we take off the rubber bands. Technically, I should wash it or at least rinse it. So I'm going to go do that real quick. Okay. And I'll show you guys a trick with asparagus here. So if you want to know where to cut the asparagus, just literally bend it. Wherever it breaks, that's usually the tender spot. That's usually the spot that's not going to taste all woody and like crunchy. So if I look at that one, that's a little bit short. Let's grab another one of these ones. There, that's a little bit longer. So it's within an inch. So about there, so they're all about that size. So I can cut them all about that size and feel good. Now, I use the rest of the asparagus. I don't like throwing anything out. Talk to my wife. She's seen my garage. But literally here, I'm going to cut this without chopping my finger off. I'm going to cut all this asparagus to size. Throw those in the garbage. Now, again, we're going to put this, they fit perfectly in that tray. So I did not plan that. I just got really lucky. I'm going to prep this, but you don't have to cook it right now. That's the beauty of this, is you can prep this and you can cook it much later. So I'm going to go ahead and now I can use my avocado spray if I want, or I can use any sort of oils. What I don't want is that water. So I'm going to take that trick we used last time with a couple paper towels. I'm going to kind of dry these off after they've been rinsed, and I'm going to clean out that bowl area. Let me know if any of this stuff looks really good or if you're interested in it, if you have other ideas in the chat. We got any chats over there, Zach? Ooh, okay. I'm going to have to check that real quick. I will give you shout outs on Amazon, by the way. Dave Williamson, thank you so much for joining on Amazon. We're on our way to the bonus drawing prize. So if we can get 20 subs or followers, I'm going to have to check my sub count. If we can do that, I'm going to throw in one of our future products, the Sensora meat thermometer. This thing's really cool if you love to cook. And if we can get something crazy like 40, let's say, I'm going to throw in some branded aprons. So that's something I really want to work on. So I've taken those guys out, and I'm going to put on a little bit of that avocado oil. So I took the water off. I put the oil on. Obviously, the oil is going to stick here. And I'm going to need my tongs. Let's see what we got. Okay. I've got these little baby tongs. I think these are going to work even better. So I'm going to give you guys a view of this. It's even better. So just take those with the tongs. Now, don't feel bad about cheating. Well, some kind of cheating's bad. Some kind of cheating's okay. This is a good cheat, a dry rub, any sort of herb seasoning that you can get that simplifies, instead of grabbing like I did, 6 or 7 of these things. If you can get a dry rub herb seasoning, do that. If not, do garlic powder. Italian seasoning would be really good with this. You could do some little pepper. I see it looks like almost a little pepper flake maybe in there. You could do that and just mix these around. Now, I'm going to set these out on the counter, and we're going to come back to them because my air fryer is still going here. So I'm going to set those over on the counter, and I'm going to come back and make sure that I covered everything about this air fryer we need to talk about. So again, this recipe we're doing for the wings is keto friendly. My wife does keto. I do not yet do keto. I think I need to, but definitely a keto-friendly recipe. Make sure you thoroughly dry that chicken. That's another really important part. Like we said, if you want really crispy chicken, dry the chicken. Another trick, if you're not worried about keto and stuff, just douse it in cornstarch. Take a little cornstarch powder and just get the outside of it, and that cornstarch will dry out all that moisture without adding salt, which is really cool. And we got our asparagus. Now, because Tim... it does not like milk, lactose intolerant. It does some bad things to him, apparently. I'm keeping the Parmesan out of this, but you can add the Parmesan in right when you put it in the air fryer, and it gives it this really cool... Hey, we got to check on our chicken here in a second, so I'm going to put the tick time upward. But it adds a really, really cool crust to the top of the asparagus if you do that. But definitely a one tray meal in the asparagus, which is really cool. We're going to add it afterward here. And then I'm going to show you some of the other recipes when I get back. But we need to go check on our chicken. Now, if you're going to use the same tongs, wash them in between. I need to say that real quick because it would be bad if I were to use raw chicken on these. I am going to stop the machine, and what's cool about that is you don't have to do anything special to stop the machine. You just have to pull the tray out. Now, oh my gosh, these are already looking good. I got to pull the top camera down. Oh my gosh, look at that. Yeah, so you can tell that they're already starting to cook a little bit. The chicken's definitely releasing some moisture. What I love about this, yeah, you can smell it. It's so good. There's a little bit of fat coming out of the chicken, which is fine. Again, you're not putting oil or grease into the chicken, so it's letting out some of its fats, which is great. But another cool thing is you can pull the chicken out. You can see right underneath it. That's some of the oil that you're not eating now. So that's oil that's not on your food. It's the oil that's coming out of the chicken. You're still going to get plenty of flavor in this. And actually, I'm going to put it in before it thaws too much or gets, loses some of its heat. Now, what's cool about it is it automatically resumes. So I just put it right back in there. It automatically resumed. We're good to go. And guess what? Our show sponsor today, again, Tick Time. I need 5 more minutes, right? So 5 more minutes. We're going to start counting. I'm going to come over here real quick because I want to show you guys some photos of some other recipes that you can do with this. And then we're going to go check the Amazon page for this. So this is some cool stuff. And I don't know if I can admit to some of the things that have happened this last week with this, at least not on Amazon. But this was a sweet potato yam recipe. Trust me, if you pick them, you're going to get them backwards. I didn't realize that until I looked it up. But I wanted to try this out. It is a 0 oil sweet potato recipe. So you're not going to add really any deep frying. You can add a little avocado oil if you want. You just cut them into steak fry sizes, which is awesome. These are the ingredients you use. Again, same ones you just saw me use on our chicken. Salt, black pepper, garlic powder, smoked paprika. Throw that on there. Toss just in a simple thing. This is where you can add your oil if you want to. Again, it adds a little bit of mouthfeel, which is great. You don't have to deep fry and soak them. This was the night, it was actually a Discord game. I was cooking down here, and my wife came down and said something pretty obnoxious, which was kind of funny. Luckily, I was on mute. She doesn't know that. She thinks everybody heard it, but it was pretty funny. But here you go. You can see I put it in at 360. This takes a little bit longer. It's going to take almost 20 minutes, but you got to check it occasionally. Again, check every 5 and rotate. But this was also the sweet potato side here. Not yams, I found out. Do you know the orange is actually the sweet potato and the yam is actually the non-orange? I've been calling them wrong since I feel cheated in my life. But yeah, so now make sure, this is the other thing, if you want really crisp stuff, make sure that you leave lots of room around it. Otherwise, you're just steaming it. You're making steamed vegetables, which is great. This makes really good steamed vegetables too. But, put them in there and oh my gosh, these did not last long. That's a sriracha mayo, obviously 2 ingredients, mayo, sriracha, make it to taste. But that was a really, really good, very fast recipe that you can make. You don't have to buy them in the bags at the grocery store because honestly, they charge you a bunch. This is literally like $1.50, $2 worth of sweet potatoes, and you can make a really cool recipe in there. So just wanted to show you guys that real quick. I'm going to check back in on the chat. This is really awesome to have a mod in here. I like this. Anything in the chat worth responding to?
We got one more follower.
One more follower on, is it Amazon? Spray on olive oil. That was a question from Andrew. And actually, you can do olive oil. Olive oil is very heart-healthy oil. That was actually avocado, as was answered in the chat already. Perfect. Sweet. Looking good. You're tempting me to pull out the air fryer, Kren says. Yeah, if you got one of these, they're really an efficient cooking device. It doesn't heat your whole house up, too. That's the other thing. When you're in the summer, we're in Washington. Not a lot of people have air conditioning. I set this guy to flame, and it does this super duper expensive range. Almost all of my other ranges never add it. It has an air frying capability, but it also shoots all of the exhaust out in the house, and it has to heat that much more volume, so it gets that much hotter. So that was the asparagus recipe that I wanted to show you. That was the chicken. We're going to throw the asparagus in between some of these other products coming up, but we got to keep moving along because we got good stuff coming up here. I'm going to pull up the Amazon page real fast. Again, the easiest way to find all of the products that I'm showing right now is visit amazon.com/shop/thenetguy. And this is the Yuyi air fryer. Now, there is a $10 off coupon if you buy it right now. I don't know how long they're going to keep that coupon. Again, 6.8 quarts here, 12 preset cooking modes. They say 85% fat reduced. That's depending on how you make it, but it definitely is a lower fat option. I would never stuff the basket this full. Just FYI. You will end up with the soggiest potatoes in your life, but I think that was some editorial license they took there. But you can make lots of stuff. We actually made pork chops. Oh, I'm surprised I don't see them in my stream, but we actually made pork chops last night. I think we're going to see those coming up here when we talk about some of the other products, and you'll see the pork chops that we made because they were just bomb. They were awesome. So that's another one. Again, you can find these here on Amazon, and in my case, I can get them by Thursday. So Thursday this week, I could get that. I'm going to come back here. The next item up is actually going to be kind of timely here. And remind me, I'm going to check the recipe book one more time here before we come back. But I'm going to say this is kind of timely because I just put out a video on an air purifier. Sorry. So the Wise Air Purifier is a really, really cool whole home air purifier, which is really slick, but it's also very expensive. Oh, there's our rotate check. Perfect timing. I'm going to set it back up while I do our check. I'm going to pop this open real quick. Again, you can rotate them every time or you can just check them. It's not necessarily going to matter. In this case, I am going to rotate them because I want to show you guys the best looking ones. We'll make the other batch just all at once here, but for you guys, you get the best looking. Okay, there we go. So yeah, they have a great air purifier, but it's 2.5 times as much as the next one I'm going to show on the show here. And this one is from the AirTalk company. I figured if we're going to be making a lot of smells, we would want to have something that at least smells good. So the AirTalk air purifier, these guys sent this out for a fair and honest review, which I told them they would get. And I'm just going to plug it in and talk through real quick what its features are. Really simple design. I don't know, what would you say, like a large vase size?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, so large vase size here, whereas the Wise one is like, coffee table. You could put something on it. I have not even taken the top off. I got to do that shot real quick here. So take the top off of this one real quick and peel that off. I don't have the audio set up for the super close peel, which would be awesome. But this already smells good because it's been running in here a little bit. Very, very simple to operate. Simple power button, 2, 4, 8-hour counters. If you're like me and you have kids that touch everything, doesn't matter what it is, and like to hit buttons, child lock. You hit that for 3 seconds, and then I probably lock the adults out too. Keep my wife out of it. But, it has a nightlight built in, which is kind of cool. Our kids, they like to sleep with a nightlight. I'm trying to keep lower the amount of ambient light in their room. So it does have a kind of a cool nightlight feature. If you want it to be completely silent, turn it on low and just put it in the corner of a room. Nobody's going to know that it's there. And it's making your room smell better, and I'll tell you why. You can turn the light off as well. But we can go through here, and when you turn the light off, it turns all of the indicators off. So there's no light coming out of it at all. This is on the highest speed. So here's my show notes. I'm not going to show you what's coming up because there's some cool stuff. But it's definitely blowing those out of the way here. So it puts out some air, but let me see if you guys can hear it. It's not super noisy, right? The air fryer behind me is putting out a lot more. And actually, let me know what you guys think about the audio. Are you guys hearing too much noise? Because I can change that noise suppression on here. Just to let me know if that sounds a little better now that we got a bunch of stuff going. Hopefully this sounds a little bit better. And if it's too low, I can adjust that as well. I saw something come up over there. I'm gonna have to talk about that in a second. Okay, so this is the AirTalk air purifier. When you get it, it comes in this box over here. I'm gonna go back out wide, Tim. So there's the air purifier box. Super easy to set up. The charging brick is inside the filter, so it's a little bit confusing. You got to pull the bottom off, pull the filter out, take the charging brick out. It uses 1/4 of the power of the Wise air purifier. It's good for 355 square feet of area, which is about a 19 by 19 room. We did the math earlier, roughly 19 by 19 if you're getting, really technical. But in a small bedroom, I could see this working on low and working really well. The other thing is we in the Northwest have been getting these forest fires around us. Vancouver had some up north. And the smoke, it just really, really gets to you. So this is one of those things that I think is a really good investment going forward. It is an H13 HEPA rating. Now, what is H13 versus H7? Higher the number, the better. It goes up to 16 in most. And this matches the Wise air purifier, which has got excellent rating of H13. So it's definitely got the science behind it as well, which I really like. I'm going to show real quick on the side screen here. Just again, that simple control panel. So if you guys have any questions about that, that's how it works. There is one hidden feature which I haven't shown yet on this one, which I got to turn it off for because I don't want it to blow the top off of this thing, which is why it smells so good in here. This actually has a diffuser in it. Oh, I just turned it on. So this little pad is actually an oil diffusion pad. So you can put whatever kind of fragrance you want. Now, my wife has essential oils. She's gone crazy with them. She has every kind there is. I'll say lemon cleans everything. Computer stuff with gunky stuff all over it. Lemon is amazing. Never thought about that. But we actually put a little bit of lemon on this and a little bit of peppermint. So you can put your oil dabs there essentially. And you can close this up. You probably should unplug it when you're doing this. I just keep turning it on and off. So you close that up. And now that's going to diffuse. And the other diffusers that my wife had are just putting out mist in the air, and it's really intense. This, I just put a drop or two of each one on there, and that was enough. And it's just giving it this really nice, fragrance. Now, the cool thing about it is the air fryer's making a smelly chicken smell. This is going to help get rid of that much faster. So I'm going to keep this thing going. I'm going to go put it in the other corner here. And I'm going to keep this thing going. But this is the AirTalk air purifier. Now I'm going to pull that up on Amazon as well, just so you guys can see this. Give me 1 second to come back here. Ooh, I just saw the sound of victory over there. Now I'm going to show you a trick on if you really want your wings crispy too. So I'm going to pull it up here. This is the Amazon page for the AirTalk air purifier. It's also available in the carousel right now, if I've done my job right, which I did. You should add the filters to the carousel too, Serene says. Works great when hubby decides to fry peppers in the morning. Oh, that could be exciting. Wake up with your eyes swollen. Is this smaller than the desktop one? There are two models here, and I'll show you those real quick. So this one here in the black is a little bit smaller. So, it's definitely a little bit cheaper. This one, if you're looking for something for a larger volume, this is $96.96. You can still follow the same link and just click on that instead. $96.96, but $59.99 right now, and you get an extra $15 off, so much, much better pricing here. Now, is it going to clean as much as the Wyze one that I just did? Probably not. The Wyze one is much bigger, so it's more of a whole room for a very large room, but definitely this would work in a bedroom. So I'm actually going to put it over here on the other side of the kitchen, and I'm going to let it run over here and clean the air while we're doing this. Now, I heard the air fryer famous beep here. So I'm going to show you guys a trick to get them ultra crispy. So I'm going to pull them out, and we're just going to look and see what they look like already, which is awesome. So I'm going to pull those up on the side screen here. So those are what I was talking about. Those are your air fryer wings. I'm going to give them 5 more minutes, and we're going to have to check them again real close. Just to crisp the outside. You can see they've got, these ones probably had a little bit of cold on them. They're probably a little bit closer to frozen. I only bought them yesterday and started thawing them. So I'm going to take these out, and I'm going to bump them to 400 degrees. I don't know what that is in any other units. So we're just going to call it 400 degrees. Hopefully you have a smart device that can do the conversion. And I did notice that this does not show any other degree increments. So it only does show in those increments. So I did put that back in here. So actually, how did I get that? Yeah, there we go. So it's running at 400 degrees. We're going to check this really carefully, and actually I'm going to check it in 3 minutes. So again, show sponsor Tick Time. Thank you again for sending this out. I can tell you, if I had to go to my microwave, which is my other timer, or my stove to make a quick kitchen timer, that's 3 minutes, and it's going to handle it right away. Let me show you again how that screen works. When it's facing the right way, it's starting to count. And you can set the volume if you want it really low. Really cool product there as well. Let's take a look real quick. Other places that air purifier might work really well in is a musty basement. If you've got a house with a basement, gets that funky smell going on in there. Mold, allergens. I just went and drove my car today, and it has that dusting of tree stuff that we have in the Northwest. I got to use the appropriate terms, guys. Tree stuff. But, definitely one of those things that it can filter out for sure. If you have pets, that's another really important thing. Pet dander, if people are allergic, you have guests over, that's another thing. I jokingly said in my Wyze video, second or first-hand smoker problems. Like, I don't think anybody got that. First-hand smokers are basically you. But if you smoke, do yourself a favor and do people around you a favor. Run one of these. That's very good. We talked about the power consumption. Did I miss anything, Zach? So far, taking a look real quick here. Oh, right. The built-in nightlight and the quiet capability that it has, definitely important in there. We did have a teenage boy here for a while, and they have their own aroma, if that's the term you use. Came back for like 2 days, and my wife was like, yep, he's back. Definitely throw this in a teen's room. You'll do better for them and everybody around them as well. So next up, I got to pull another product here. Oh, I saw a new follower, one. Brianna, that is so awesome. That is really cool. Thank you so much for joining on Amazon. I really do appreciate the follow. Next time I go live, which is next week, we're going to do a gaming tech show, which is going to be really cool. Lots of cool stuff that got sent out. I'm like, okay, I'm a gamer. I'm going to deal with this. But you'll get to get that alert when I go live on that. So that's really slick. Thanks, Brianna, for following here. If you do want to follow on Amazon, there's a button in one of these corners that says follow. If you're on one of the other services, look in the description. There's a link to my Amazon shop, and then you can follow there as well. Trying to get this. We're like 3 out of 20 here to get the bonus giveaway. I think people want that. And I haven't checked my phone, but usually we get the I get the giveaway entries as I'm going, and it's like constantly buzzing. So people definitely like giveaways. I'm going to pull up the next product, and it's going to help us with this 3-minute timing here. Let me do a little bit of cleanup here of our area. And that is going to be the Sensora meat thermometer. Now, I talked to Thermapen. Thermapen is one of the best companies out there, but they don't sell on Amazon. And so I'm like, well, I'm not allowed to actually show your product if it's not on Amazon, sadly, with Amazon Live rules. So I started looking for an alternative. Now, obviously, this is an alternative. Thermapen is one of the best from ThermoWorks. But this has some really cool stuff, and for the price, I thought it was phenomenal. I'm going to show you exactly how it works here as we pull these out, because like I said, I wanted to check these. When you bump the temperature up, make sure not to burn them. And actually, they're doing really good. Can you see that, Zach, on your side? I can smell that. I know that. Again, really looking good. There's the flats. They're getting that color. You need that 400 to get the color. And that was my trick I was showing you guys. Bump up the heat at the last 5 minutes. You can do even 10 if you want to. But the trick there is you're going to get that crispiness on the outside, but you're actually going to get cooked all the way through, which you don't want. So when that one finishes, I'm actually going to show you, we're going to use this pen to make sure that it's safe to eat. I don't want to poison my guests. So let me show you what you get in the box real quick. You get their guide, which is awesome. If you've ever wondered, and I didn't know if you knew this, but you can actually use your Smart Assistant to give you safe cooking temperatures as well. But this has a guide that will give you all of those safe cooking temperatures. Chicken, turkey, whole ground stuffing is 165 to 175. Pre-cooked hot dogs is 140 or more. You know, in here we've got some pork. Medium rare is going to be 135. That's pretty cool. Steaks and other ones in here, 135, 145. So again, it has all the information there, but I'll show you a trick with this one as well. It actually has it built in. So as soon as you open it, it turns on. So there's no power on off, which is really slick. So you open it up, and we're keeping it cool today. It's 68 degrees in here. It's measuring the ambient air temperature, but you see that cow icon, which I think is actually their pig icon. Sorry. It's actually one. You should be able to, if you do that, let me see if I can get to the temperature. There we go. So I can rotate between, that looks like a chicken. That looks like, I don't know if that's like an elk, but it has it has horns. And then this one doesn't have horns, but I think is pig. But I don't know. So if you set it to those, it's actually going to set. So 145, 174 on the turkey, 174 on the chicken, and 195, which is overdone for steak, if that's what steak's supposed to be. So again, different things. I think that might actually be brisket. I've used this for brisket, and you want 195. So that's how it's pre-programmed. Now, the screen on it, I'll show you some pictures of it using it in the day. It's actually a little brighter than the GoPro shows. The studio's really bright. But again, if I just put my hand on it, here, you have to open it. There it goes. About every, I think it's 6 seconds it said that it does a sampling. And again, I'll wash the probe before we use it on any meats. But, just putting my hand on it is raising the temperature of it. But what's cool is like the Thermapen, you get that, and you've got this probe, and you can use it. But sometimes you need it for long term, right? So it comes with a second probe. Now, what's amazing on this? The price. It's $12.99. I've wasted more than that on shipping on some stuff that I needed quickly. But again, if you put this probe in here, even when it's closed, it turns on. Same exact temperature. And the one thing I really appreciated about this is when I was doing a brisket over the weekend, I checked it both with the pen and cross-checked it with this, and they were basically dead on. So that was really good. And checked it with the probes that were inside my smoker, and they were dead on as well. So from an accuracy perspective, really good. And $12.99. It's a phenomenal value, I will say. I did get a little bit of rain on it. I was in Washington. We're making brisket in the winter, basically, here. And it got rained on. I'll show you the pictures. And then I came back in. I read it. It's waterproof. I'm like, oh, well, that makes that really simple. So we're going to get these chicken wings out. I got my official Star Wars. My daughter made that one. My little Star Wars trivet. And I'm going to bring you guys to the top cam so you can see down into these wings. Again, I would leave these like this. I would let them dry outside of here so they're not keeping the heat inside here. But these are definitely looking good. I'm going to open up the Sensora again, and I can poke it into the side there. already 180, 183. So we're definitely good. You guys can see that. Again, do this, poke it into the thickest part, and right up against the bone even is where it's going to be coldest. So 176. Oh, it's getting there. The flats on the wings are definitely going to be over the 180 mark. Oh, 200 in the flats. So again, so these are not necessarily guilt-free. The sorbet is guilt-free, which I'm going to show you guys later. But I do want to show you what you're not going to be eating, which is all of the fat that came off of this. So again, all of that that's trapped in the bottom is fat. And you can see in that corner, there's a whole puddle of it that you're not going to be eating on this. And if you put these out onto a tray to dry, which technically I'm going to have to here. So I'm going to go ahead and get a tray out, and we're going to put these out to dry a little bit. And I'm going to get that asparagus started, and we'll come back in and we'll talk about the Sensora. But again, that Sensora came in handy there. So we know that we were at our cooking temperature that we wanted. And I'm going to bring up some of the other things that we checked temperature on. Really cool thing here. You can actually pick it up and just dump everything out. Cleanup, my wife really appreciates on this, is just a snap, I tell you. So we take that out. We dump those out. We go to our next item. Now, what's actually kind of cool about this, I have seen other air fryers for less money, honestly. There are ones out there that you can get for cheaper. They don't clean up this easily. I'm simply using a paper towel to pick up the oil that was down here. I'm not burning myself, or trying not to burn myself. And I'm going to put that in the garbage. I'm going to rinse this off real quick. You know, it's funny because like most real cooking shows probably have somebody that does this, but I do my own dishes, you know. So I'm waiting for Tim to catch up over here. I'm over here doing the dishes. Oh, am I on the top down? Sorry. See, this is why I got to give Tim camera control. Okay, sorry guys, you can hear me, but we're just cleaning this out. Okay, so that is cleaned off enough here. See, I could put that out. That would have been smart. So that's enough to do our asparagus, which I'm going to throw in there next. Again, so you can take this. Now this is ready to go. With asparagus, I'll show you a trick on that. Second camera. You, again, don't want it to, you want it to roast. You don't want it to steam. You know, roasted asparagus is much better. It's got that kind of that richer, you know, more roasted taste rather than just kind of a bland. So go ahead and just cross them over. So do the first, you can do an entire bunch of asparagus at one time. We're going to go 400 degrees here. So we're going to put it in here 400 degrees for 7 minutes. So turn it on. Now, like I said, I don't use the presets necessarily because I know exactly what I want, but I'm sure there's one that's close. There's a preset for bacon, French fries. There's all sorts of presets. We're going to let that go. I'm going to put these out, and hopefully they don't disappear before I get done with this show because I think they will. I'm actually going to put these in the oven just so they stay a little bit warm, and I can set that to warming here later. Okay. Perfect. Okay, coming back to the Sensora. Let me pull that up real quick. So we've been looking at that. Oh my gosh, we've got 2 more followers. Serene says, do I need to send another email? Actually, do you mind pulling up the giveaway details? It's the first caption there. So I'm going to put the giveaway details. This, I got an idea from another, you know, Amazon influencer, and you don't have to use email apparently. I was trying to follow the rules maybe a little too closely. And so he says we can do this. It should be under there on, yeah. But it is my website /time, which you'll see here in a second. And you don't need to send an email for this one, but you will need to re-register for this one. It's a new system that we're using. Todd James Smith, thank you so much for the follow on Amazon. That's awesome. And QIY, that's awesome. Todd James Smith asked about cooking time on Amazon. So the first wings that we did were a total of 20 minutes. And they're done perfect. And so that was 15, I think at 360, 370. And then the last 5 I did at 400, and you can kind of mix and match that depending on your wings. So we talked a little bit about the Sensora. This is the one that I am going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to give away 2 more of these if we can get between YouTube and Amazon. If we can get 20 more followers or subscribers, we're going to do that. I do want to show you guys how I used it over the weekend because I did a brisket over the weekend. And I'm not like some amazing cook that does briskets every weekend, but I didn't want to screw up a $131 piece of meat. So let me show you guys how that worked out here. And I'm just going to pull it up here. So these are my Google Photos. I'm actually going to start with last night's dinner. So this is a pork, and you're like, oh, that's probably underdone because it's pink. Well, no, it's actually perfect, and I'll show you why. Because we were able to test it out with the meter. This is way over actually what you need, but all of the juices are staying in this air fryer. Small volume convection cooking. You can see the color was great on it. So the first time we pulled it out, it was not nearly as hot. It was right at 140. You want about 145. So we actually threw it back in for that again and got it a little bit hotter. 170 is higher than you probably need. So we did that. Now this is where we're getting into the brisket. This turned out really, really good. Now, of course, there is the smoke ring on the brisket because you got to show that off. And that's how juicy this was. But I wouldn't feel safe doing any sort of serious cooking like that. Barbecue especially, unless you have an instant read and or a continuous read. In this case, it's both. You're getting a device for $12.99, which matches not necessarily the exact quality, but it matches the capability of some other stuff. Now, what's funny about this too, and I don't want to scratch my fridge, but it's magnetic. So in this case, I can stick it on there. I could stick it on the side. I actually have a hook that my wife bought me. It's a 3D printed, cool little hook thing, and so I just set it on that, and 191 was right when the brisket was ready to pull. It was 132 earlier in the morning, so you can see that there was my brisket going into the smoker. And again, a little bit more of what you get with it. I want to double check. If I come back over here to Amazon, the easiest way to find this, again, go to my Amazon page, go to the Tech on Tuesday 13, and you can go right here and see the Sensora. Again, great little device. I was looking for something that was comparable. It's got a good Amazon rating of 4.6 out of 5. So solid for a less than $15 instant read with an additional probe. Very, very good deal. Really appreciate that. Again, those guys did not send that to me. I literally bought that on my own. We're actually going to use this with some of the future cooking that we're doing here because we're going to use some pretty interesting cooking techniques, and we are going to actually make sure that we get that right. Let me double check here on this. I need to clean this probe still, as we did have it in chicken. I want to show you something else over here. Hopefully you guys can see me. Yep. I'm going to put this in. Need to put this back on. And actually, let me bring this over real quick. I'm going to switch it. This is an item that's coming up in the future, but I'm going to switch it over to cooking over here because I want to show you a temperature reading out of it. And we're going to turn it on. There we go. So I'm going to take this device here, and I'm going to stick it in this bucket of water that we have. And the water is coming up right now at 120. So 120 degrees. It's starting to come back down. We are going to be cooking steaks and cod in water. It's the weirdest thing. So that's coming up next, but I did want to show that this Sensora can actually do that and just cross-check all your measurements, which is really slick. So we're going to switch off to the next product. I'm going to put this to the side, but I'm going to use it several times more tonight. And if you have questions about any of these products, any of the recipes, anything that we're showing, let me know. I do need to call out. We got a super chat in there, didn't we? Okay, I'm going to bring this up here. Awesome. Let me pull this back up because I think Andrew is the guilty party. Oh, here he comes. Big, long super chat. $10 US. Scrambled egg with cheese salsa over seasoned tater tots. Tots in the air fryer till dark brown. Plate them, season, scramble, or fry an egg on top. Garnish, condiment. That's worth $10 right there. He got to put it out there. There's a recipe from Andrew. That looks really cool. I'm going to have to try that. Maybe I'll try that in a future show. That would be pretty slick. So thank you, Andrew, for the super chat. And thank you so much again for the recipe there. If you guys are interested in trying out something, that looks like a great one here. If you're going to do some of the other type of cooking we're coming up with this sous vide, sous vide, sous vo, Nobody pronounces it right, including myself. But if you're going to do some of that type of cooking, you are going to need a vacuum sealer. And I've gone high and low. The last couple ones I've bought at secondhand stores, to be honest, because the really nice ones, the Food Saver vacuum sealers, are expensive. They're not cheap. And so I was actually looking for an alternative here, and I ran across this one, and it took me a while. I'm going to pull this up on the carousel. This is Vacuum Sealer Machine, but stick with me here. It fits in a drawer, which so far none of these big guys fit in a drawer yet. And my Food Saver does not either. It's too big. It has the bag storage built into the top, which is nice. It's not going to fit a ton of extra bags, but it's going to be just enough here. This is one of my favorite things, whether you're camping, fishing, hiking, going to work, and you just need something saved. Oh boy, 7 minutes. Oh, those look good. I'm going to rotate them a little bit depending on thickness and doneness. Again, you can look at these. It's, oh yeah, I do need to switch. Thank you so much. I'm like showing off the side here. Yeah. But yeah, oh, look at those. Yeah, those are great. Now, you can see the one here is starting to wilt a little bit. If you want them a little darker, you can. I'm just going to leave this in the machine because I want them to just soften up a little bit. We'll plate those here in just a second when we plate some of the other stuff. So back over here to this Glad Top. So this Glad Top vacuum sealer comes with a roll of this about 8-inch of vacuum sealer continuous bags. It also, when you get the box, it's going to come with an instruction manual and all that other standard stuff in the box. But it's going to come with about a dozen of these. To be honest, I've used quite a few of them. I've used a few in the show today. We've actually got one in the sous vide cooker right now already going. So you can see these. These are just about the perfect size. If I was going to recommend a first timer to get some of these, take about these 8-inch ones by 11 or 12. Those are just about the perfect size. But you can do an absolute ton with this. Couple things as parents that we do. We like to go shopping at Costco in bulk. We have to buy the 6 pounds of ground beef. So we buy those, and then we take these and we just portion them out into 1 pound packages. We do the vacuum sealing and we throw them in the freezer for as long as we want, really about a year, about the max. But this is going to make your food last a lot longer. And for preppers right now, my wife's a big prepper, I'm just saying, that she loves this. It works really, really well. Taking them out on the boat is really good too. I'm going to show you a trick that I've been using on them. But you know, when you go out and you get fish, almost all the fish we buy now is flash frozen and vacuum sealed. But now you can do it yourself. I went out fishing last year, was just a banner year, and I was able to get like 10 fish in one day. You fillet those out, you've got 20 fillets, and I'm like, what am I going to do with those? I can't eat 20 fish. This is a really good way to do that. The continuous roll of bags is a cool thing. I'm also going to show you a trick on that. Oh, yeah, sorry. That's great having these guys here because they could just kick me. So, yeah, this is the continuous roll that they give you. Now, I have in the carousel, I think, a better value here as well. So, these guys are going to keep me honest today. So, yeah, this is the continuous roll, and it's more of like a sampler roll. There's probably 5 to 10 feet maybe on there, not a lot. Some of the larger rolls with 50 feet, you can't even fit in the machine. But it will fit up to an 11-inch roll, which is great, depending on how you're doing it. I will actually show one of the bags we used earlier. Again, this is their pre-seasoned bags. This is a piece of cod that's cooking for later that's in there. And we used another one of their pre-made bags. I'm going to bring it over here so you can see it. I'm just dripping everywhere. That's a ribeye steak. Now, it doesn't look like a ribeye steak that most of you guys are used to, but it will. I promise. These guys are not going to eat it unless it does. They're going to be like, that is not a ribeye, John. So it does come with these pre-cut bags, which are great, but you can actually make your own bags here in a second. I'm going to show you something as a parent that I really like to do, which is to save money when you have as many kids as we do. If you go to get trail mix on your way to the boat launch, on your way on the camping trip, the road trip, whatever, it's at least $2.50, $3 a bag for a small bag of trail mix. Again, I bought this stuff on sale. Cranberries were like $2 for an entire bag. Now, I'm not going to use all of them. But I'm just going to show you how you can basically make your own trail mix, and you can make it healthier. You know, my kids, they pick out the M&Ms. I'm totally going to give, I'm going to have a producer on the show that will do top down for me when I need to. I think this is great. So again, doing almonds, and see if you don't touch them, they even last longer. But so we'll go through here. Trader Joe's plantain chips. My other daughter loves these, so we got some plantains. They're not bananas, they're plantains. Okay, just cleaning a little bit as we go. Okay, and the one thing that all of the kids like is the chocolate chips. So we put a little bit in, then we put a little bit more because the kids like them. And there we go. So now this is just one variety. If you don't want sugar in that, you want sugar-free, you've got that option. So again, we can mix these around here. I'm going to take one of their pre-made bags, and I'm going to show you a trick that you can do with it. So this is their pre-made bag, right? One bag, 8 by 11 roughly. And should I actually use something to dish this out with? That's probably, you know, other than my like chicken hand. Okay. So let's say we're loading that up. We want some sort of healthy, equitable portion, right? Maybe that's what we call it. Okay. I'm just going to put this side over here. Easiest way to use this. Now, don't worry about anything beyond the top. You don't need it. It does have positive locking on both sides. Now, my original Food Saver only locked on one side, so you always saw me like standing on the other side holding it down. It will do both moist and dry foods, but if you see here, I'm going to put this in right along this line. So I don't know if we can get a better view out of this other side. Nope, it's hidden. So right along this line, we can get that. I'm going to close that down. Now it has positive retention. Both sides have to be down or it's not going to work. So a lot of people, I actually did read the comments. They're like, oh, I tried it. It didn't work. And I'm like, I don't know how, because you know, this thing's pretty straightforward. But if you hit dry here, you can watch what's going on here. That is sealing tighter than any convenience store. It's like literally cracking the plantains. Sealing better. Now, we tried this earlier with a regular freezer bag. It did not work because it doesn't have these divots in it. You need the one with the divots. Now this is going to switch over to stop when it's all done. So it's sealing right now, and then you'll see it switch over to the stop. So that stop light lit up. Open this up, and there you go. So now I've got this ready to go, but I've wasted an enormous amount of bag, right? Here's a trick. Pro tip for parents that need to save a little bit of money. Take this down. You can actually make sure it's flat. You can seal it closer to the end of the bag. And now when that switches from seal to stop, it's done. This thing is very quiet too. I don't know. Let us know how the audio is working on there. I just did turn the noise cancellation on a little earlier. So, okay. Now that one may not seal perfectly because I kind of folded there. I need to work on, exactly where I did it, but I wanted to show you a trick. So if it gasses out real quickly, then it didn't actually seal right. But if I take this along this line, this has a built-in bag cutter on the top. So I can cut along this side. Now that's the one I send my kid with. It's the right size. But guess what? I can make a whole nother one here. So now maybe I shouldn't be like teaching you how to cheat their free bag system. But you can reuse, if you're just doing dry goods, you can totally reuse these bags. That's another cool thing. You can even make your own bags, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. So again, I took one of their simple included bags. I think they include, like I said, about a dozen of them. And I'm going to turn it into 2 dozen by just doing that and hitting dry. Oh man, that thing's got some suction. You can hear it cracking. I don't know if it's transferring, but. So it says it takes about 8 seconds to completely bring this down, and then it's going to do the seal. I have heard it run a little bit just to make sure the seal is good if you just do the seal only mode. And there we go. So now you got one for each kid. Now what I do to make it easier on them, because they'll just be like gnawing on this for a while, what I do is I put a little nick in the corner, and I'm going to show you why that's important here in a second. But little nick in the corner, almond, plantain, cranberry, and a little bit of chocolate for the kids, right? Again, so you got a little nick in the corner. You want to use this. Well, maybe I need the nick. Okay, now I'm opening it up. Again, you now have a car snack to take with you. And actually, the cranberries are. Come on. Note to self: use M&Ms next time. So there you go. So that is one way to use this. Now, we're actually going to make a steak for the sous vide cooker here in a second. I'm just making sure I covered all of this. So yeah, it can actually do the steak here, and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to make custom bags and how to save money on bags, which I'm really into. So we're going to do a sous vide steak. I've got one cooking right now. I made one ahead of time, or what was the thing? Here's one I made before. But we're going to make this other ribeye steak for him, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the bag. Gorgeous ribeye. I buy these things when they're on sale, and when you have a Food Saver or Glad Top version of a Food Saver vacuum sealer, you can buy them on sale. You can pack them when you're ready to cook them. And what's funny about the sous vide, which I'll show you in a second, is you can go straight from frozen right in, which is just phenomenal. And we tested these out before, and they are actually perfectly sized here for this steak. You can see them on the top down. Now, you can season them in the bag. You can season them right here. I'm going to season them right there just because it's easier to get to. So this is a ribeye steak. My friend John, the original net guy, by the way, there's a whole long story about that. He taught me how to do this. A ribeye, Johnny's seasoning. I like to put a little bit more salt on because you're not having time to marinate these steaks when they're in the sous vide, but the water will come out and it will go back in. So maybe everybody's like, that's a lot of salt, but trust me, that will work really well. And then I like to add a little bit more pepper. Technically do it to both sides if you can. Now I'm going to grab, these ones are still good. I'm going to see if I can put this all the way down there. You don't need any oil if you don't want to. There's going to be a lot of water here, and there will be some butter or oil at the end. There's a little bit of extra here, which is fine. Now, here's a trick I'm going to show you real quick. If you don't want the edge of your bag that has to seal to get dirty, you can fold it like that. Give yourself like 1.5 inches. That's going to keep the seal from rubbing the meat and potentially getting contaminated or dirty. I'm telling you, Tim, this went so much easier when we were in practice, right? That's what they all say, right? You know, when we did the first one, it went well. So the bags are just the right size for this enormous ribeye. I think they're over a pound each. And like I said, just fold the edge up right there like you see it. Now fold them back, and now you've got a really nice clean area, and I'm going to dispose of this. Now it does have an option for a wet or a moist sealing here. You can see that. And that's if you're going to have some sort of item that's maybe like a soup or something. And it does have in the bottom of here, there's a tray that's going to catch any excess, and you can use your rag to clean that up. I'm going to do the pretty side up here just because the thing looks so much better on camera. Click, click, dry seal. And there it goes. Now there's a little bit of seasoning. I can shake it around. Now you can season both sides. You can pre-season everything in the bag. You can do all that. Again, about 8 seconds roughly. This one, I believe, is $57.99. I'll have to double check on that. It's got a 4.2 star rating. There are a lot of imitation vacuum sealers. They're not that hard to make construction-wise, so I think there's a lot of them out there that are, I hate to say it, cheaply made. But that is my steak. So that thing's ready to go into our next product. Let me double check here. I think I've got a couple things coming up. It does come with this additional attachment. I want to show you guys this. I have not used this, so I'm not going to tell you I know all about it. But it's actually an attachment that you can put on here to do jars. So if you're doing canning or something. Have you done any of that stuff before? Yeah, so if you want to do any sort of canning, like rice, I guess lasts longer if you do that. So if you want to do any sort of canning, that's the attachment that you use there real quick. Just looking through. I'm going to put this off to our side. I'm going to pull up the next thing. So if you're doing a lot of vacuum sealing, and I'm telling you, when I was fishing, I do a lot of vacuum sealing. The next product that I'm going to pull up real fast, and I'm going to come back to the product pages for both of these in a second. They're really closely related. These are from WeVac. These are vacuum sealer bags, really, really high quality so far. So you're going to run out of those first 12 bags in the first night when you're having fun with this thing. You're going to be vacuum sealing the cat. I did the remote control. The kids were not impressed with that. but it does keep it, waterproof. And they were hitting the buttons, so I don't know. Maybe it's a safety thing. But they come in two sizes. So there's an 11-inch long side, wide side, I guess, 50 feet long. There's an 8-inch, 50 feet long on this side. So both of these, if I remember right, are $18.99 right now. Is there a verification email from Awesome Mom? She's asking about entering this. There is not. If you see the message that says it was submitted, you're submitted because it goes right to the site. There's no email that you have to worry about. This is great. Zach's in the Amazon saying it. Trust me, it smells great in here. I love it. Serene saying she uses her vacuum sealer every day. And Zach, thank you so much for putting the link in there for signing up for the giveaway. So again, this is from WeVac. Now, I'm going to show you as a parent. I said I'm kind of budget friendly. They say I pinch a penny till the buffalo does something. I'm going to show you the top-down view here. So I'm going to show you, again, I told you already how to get a double amount out of the other ones. I'm going to use this way. It's just picking up a little seasoning off of the thing. I'm going to hit seal. Now, I'm not vacuum sealing. I'm just sealing. So I'm just giving myself an edge here, right? Show you a trick here. Now, you don't have to have a separate pair of scissors, and scissors never work quite right for doing this, but you don't have to have a separate pair of scissors here because, again, it's got that integrated cutter. So I can bring it up here to the integrated cutter, and I can cut that. So this is the 11-inch wide one, but maybe, again, you're making a snack bag for 2 kids, and you want to get every tiny little bit out of this. Show you a trick here. I'm using the integrated cutter again, right? Line it up, cut it, and you're basically making 4 sides. Now, I can't wrap Christmas gifts to save my life. That's what I let my wife do. She's amazing at it. But I'm going to do a test here. This is going to be a strength and endurance test in a second. And I'm going to see how strong these guys are. Well, at least Tim. We'll start with Tim. Tim, do you want to come over here? I think we got it. It's tall enough. Yeah. Come on over, Tim. I want to show how strong this bag is. Now, let me pull it up on the side. What I've done is I've made my own bag with the WeVac bags. Now, I've basically sealed those sides. The one side is factory. Tim, come on over here, and I'm going to have him try to open this. You can look in that camera. Okay, is it going to fail? Is this like Elon Musk in the... Oh, he ripped the middle of it. It didn't even rip the seam. That's how good it was. So the seam held. You ripped down the middle of it. But yeah, that's, again, we were trying this earlier, and it didn't break the window on the Cybertruck. But no, but I'm going to show you guys that. So it literally ripped down the side. That's why I said give your kids a chance and put a little cut in it if you're going to send them with snacks. Otherwise, they're going to be in the playground, like throwing it on the ground over and over. They're like, I don't know why it doesn't open, Mommy. But no, this is really, really cool. Another way to make just custom size stuff, which is really slick. So again, I can take this side. I'll show you again what I did. I cut it down the middle, and I'm making basically a 5.5-inch bag out of this. So, keep the pens safe in the boat. If you need waterproof pens, you can get a ticket in Washington for not having a pen while you're fishing. Yeah, because we're not in the digital age by any stretch, It's getting a little crazy. So these were the WeVac bags. Now, I did a sous vide steak. We put those in the bags. I'm going to go back to both of these product pages so you can take a look at these products real quick. I'm going to bring up both of those. And again, easiest way to find me on Amazon is go to shop/thenetguy. This is my idea list. This is the Glad Top. Like I said, great value here. You can see when I purchased it, I was looking for a lot of these. That's got that 4.2 star rating. It could be here by Thursday as well. Has all of the cool features. I think in the future, I may even try to see if I can do some jar canning with it as well. As on top of that, we looked at the WeVac. That's what we're looking at right now, which is $18.99. I bought these much later, as you can see. I was like, I'm going to need bags. I'm almost out of these, and I didn't want to show you the Food Saver ones, which are really expensive, honestly. So these ones were a budget-friendly bag, but you're getting basically 100 lineal feet, and I just showed you how you can turn that into double, triple, quadruple, however you want to do it. So those are those two products looking good. The next product up is the one that we like to shock our friends with a little bit when they come over and they want to, have a really good meal, which again, now that COVID's passing, hopefully we can have more and more people over. And when we want to cook something really special for them, we do steaks or fish or something really cool. And we do it in the sous vide. Sous vide. We do it in the sous vide cooker. I did actually go to a French pronunciation website, earlier because I'm like that. I want to be right. And it's SOUS with a silent S on the end, not the first one, or that'd be O's. It's sous, S-O-U, vide, V-I-D-E, vide, sous vide. And it means under vacuum pressure. And that what they did, and this is the stock pot you've been seeing over here. I'm going to pull it up on the side camera. So this stock pot that I have here is running the next product up, which I'm going to pull up on the carousel. And we'll pull that up here. And this is the Anova Nano. This was a gift to me. And honestly, I use this probably once a week, especially when we're in like steak season. There's got to be season for these things, right? And so this is actually cooking at, the temperature's kind of flickering, but it's solid here. It's 129.4 because I've set it to 129.5. And it's cooking in a stock pot on my counter. And it's in those vacuum sealer bags. Now this one, you can see all of the water that comes out of your food when you cook it. I didn't add any water, Tim can vouch. This is just frozen cod, which we added a bunch of that herb seasoning to. And then this has been in here for a couple hours. And what's amazing about this is it can be in here for a couple hours to 8 hours or more. Really, you need a couple minimum, but this is a ribeye steak. It looks kind of like a gray piece of meat. It's not super appetizing, but I'll tell you what, this will be the best steak you've really ever made. Now, what's cool about the Anova, and let me pull it up here on the Amazon. What's cool about the Anova of all of them is it's got a Bluetooth connection to your phone. So you have to be home. It's not Wi-Fi. You can't like go to work. But we have left this running on the counter because there's really just warm water in it is all it is. And the water here at 129, our tap water is 125 in this house. So really you're 4 degrees above it. And let me shock everybody here. So I'm cooking in this, right? I'm just going to leave my hand in the water. Okay, that hurt. No, that's a little uncomfortable after about 5 seconds, which is about what they say, So you're cooking in a temperature that you're not going to get burned at. And if you're buying expensive cuts of meat, you don't want to ruin a prime ribeye steak, right? You don't want to ruin a prime New York strip. So we do this, and my wife really won't let me do anything but the sous vide cooking method now. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Oh, and here's one that I made before. Let me pull this out of the bag. No, but I can put that in here. You can put as many as you can fit and still have water circulation. There's a little high water mark here, and there's also a low water mark. You just want to make sure in between those. And if you want to give the machine a little bit of a fighting chance, I put a bunch of cold into it, so I'm going to just cover it up for a second. We started out with 65-degree water. It raised the temperature all the way up to 129, 130-ish. Which is what we want. Now, the app, and I don't have it. I don't know if I have it on my phone. I'll have to double check. Anova. Oh, I do have the app on my phone. Look at that. So this is the app on my phone, and you can connect to your cooker right here. So the current temperature, this is all Bluetooth. There's the temperature on my cooker. I can edit the set temperature, and I can go up by 0.5 degrees. Set. And it's going to be set at that whatever temperature, 195. And you can do timers and all that other stuff. But what actually is really cool about it is the recipes. And you can see that doneness. If you're somebody that likes medium rare, and I'm a huge medium rare fan, if you're somebody that likes medium rare steak or medium or rare, this is the way to go. And you can just adjust it a degree at a time. That's all it takes. Run this for 2 hours. I'd say a minimum of an hour and a half. But if you're coming from frozen, you can do stuff from frozen in 2 hours in this. And so when you want steak, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, drop it in here, you're good to go in 2 hours. The problem is what it comes out looking like. And that's what I'm going to show you one of the next products for. But let me go ahead and double check and make sure I covered everything that we want to talk about on here. So we did talk about the Bluetooth. It's really, really simple to use. It has actually been running the entire show. So when I say that this is pretty quiet, it's really quiet. It's been running on the back counter there. It doesn't use a lot of power. So if you're a camper like me, somebody that likes to cook on the go, you can do that. You can leave it running unattended. I've obviously checked the manuals and everything, but it's one of those things that I don't feel like a slow cooker. I'm not sitting around it for 12 hours making sure that it hasn't like miraculously exploded. But it's definitely one of those. There are a lot of other things that you can cook in it. One of the biggest things that Starbucks was famous for was the sous vide egg bites. Those are really popular and $4.50 each, which you can make for way less money with one of these if you want. It's all about the texture, right? This thing makes a very unique texture. French know all about cooking. You can do fish, as we talked about, and it's going to be gentle on your food. If you want to go out and you want to turn your grill up and you want to cook a steak, the thing I worry about is, they say like 3 minutes aside, right? Well, that's if it's a grocery store 3/4 inch. You do 3 minutes or aside on a baseball size top sirloin, and you're going to be chewing the middle through because it's going to be just jello. And so the neat thing about this is 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours is any size thickness of meat, and it's done all the way through. So it gets just the exact temperature that we want, which we love. I showed you how to do the Johnny's seasoning version of it, which is mine. I'm about to do how I finish the steak here. And again, like I said, the steak's going to come out and you guys are going to be like, ugh, yeah, I don't want that for dinner. But then I'm going to show you our next product and that will come in. Anything new on the chat, Zach? Okay. Now I'm going to pull this out. Hopefully you can see this, Tim. You might have to come down again. We're hitting the cabinets again. my tripod there. So you can see, and I don't know if you can zoom in on this, Tim. I'll give you a challenge here. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to check that here in a second. So that's the steak. It's a bag of, well, all the water that's in it came out of the steak because it's sealed. It's not dripping any dirty water. I'm going to take this over and I'm going to dump it. And then we're going to go on to the next item. So I'm going over here. I'm going to dump out all of that seasoning. You don't need that seasoning anymore. And you can discard the bag entirely if you want. I'm going to take it back over here, and I'm going to dry my hands off. So that is your sous vide steak. Now, who wants to eat up? Yum. That's like a pork chop that your worst enemy made. It's like awful. Again, very wet. Now, the fat does not render like it will in other areas, right? So you can see this big fat chunk there. It definitely feels more like prime rib when you eat a really good prime rib. That you get that fat. And so you just kind of skip that in most cases on this. It's well seasoned. I seasoned both sides of this before I put in. And the ribeye, you've got the lip on the ribeye. You got the bone in this case. I'm going to pull out the next product here. And I need to bring it up on the Amazon carousel as well. So that was fully cooked. Let's see. Here we go. Double checking the Amazon chat. Hey, we got another follower. Petros started following. I used my Anna for the first time today for chicken, and it was amazing. I have never done chicken. Thank you, Petru. That is awesome to hear about. I'm going to try that. If you want to put your recipe in the chat, that would be awesome. Help everybody out. Welcome all the 10 people in Amazon that are watching right now, by the way. I'm going to pull up our next product, which is actually something that is going to make your sous vide experience much more appetizing, and that is the Searzall. Now, this is kind of an interesting tool. It definitely is manly, I'll tell you that. Guys would definitely say that this is something we need in the kitchen, and or the campfire. I cannot confirm nor deny that I might have used it to start the campfire as well this weekend, but make sure if you're going to get this attachment, get the Bernzomatic starter. This is an on-off starter, and it lets you run it inverted. Don't use it with the blue bottles, they say, but that's all I had sitting around. Definitely don't use it with the yellow because you'll melt the top off. That's MAP gas. But your camping Coleman bottles that they charge $6 now for, which is criminal, those are the little green bottles. That's what it works with. But very, very simply put, if you push the button, it lights up. So you're seeing that searing flame there. And I'm not going to do it into the GoPro because I'll probably burn the lens and microphone cat right off of it. But the idea here is that you're going to sear the top of the meat. Now, I love, again, edge to edge, medium rare. So I'm going to go down to I'm going to see if I can do this on the second camera. So that's the top view. And actually, sorry, I'm going to need to move some things around here because I really want to get low on this one. That's too bad Amazon doesn't let us play music because that would be really funny to play. Some good music on this here. I'm going to get down low on this one so you guys can see exactly what's happening to the meat. It's going to cause that caramelization reaction. Look at that. Okay, good. we're ready to go on this one. So I'm going to turn it on. Now you can see that heat dispersing, and you will be surprised how close you have to keep this. But you're working your way around it. Now it's going to take a little while to heat up. This can take a couple minutes. Now it's actually there. You can see it's causing the top to sear. I'm just working my way around. Thank goodness we have an air purifier in here, right, Zach? Now, there's a little bit of smoke coming off of it, as you can see, especially when you get into that fat area. I would recommend doing this outside unless you're doing YouTube, which kind of requires you to do this inside. Other options that I will talk about if you're not ready to spend $73 on something to cauterize your steaks. Again, you can see that there. It's just cooking right up. You don't need a lot of time here. Again, it's just causing that reaction on the top. And you can see visibly the steak shrinking on the outside when it's doing this. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's going to take a little bit of time. If you wanted another alternative way to do this, if you actually happen to have a cast iron. Oh, there's the color we were looking for. I love it. I'm going to give it a little bit of room there. So now we're starting to get that color. We're starting, oh, there's the steak color. That fat's popping a little bit. And what's cool about this, again, you're using the Bernzomatic. You can actually see that just cooking away right there. It's not actually cooking the steak through. The steak is completely cooked all the way through already. What it's actually doing is it's frying the outside and giving it a crust, which is what you expect when you go to a restaurant and you want that really nicely done steak. Anniversary. I'm trying to see how much smoke I'm going to generate in here. This is definitely one of those cool outside things. Now you can decide if you want to sear both sides of it, but really you only technically need one. And I'm going to go to the chat here in a second, and I'll let you guys tell me if we need more time on it. And I'm just searing it a little bit more. I don't want it to be underdone and lose all that momentum that we just earned on this one. Wonder if we need like the fire extinguisher in the kitchen when we do this. Yeah. My mom, you know, we knew that dinner was ready when the fire alarm went off. This might be the same thing, Zach and Tim. I'm just saying, this might be the steak is done. There we go. Sorry for the noise. And again, it does not nearly show as well on that camera as it will up on this camera. So again, so we're starting to get that sear. We're starting to get that dark color on there. I could blot it out just a little bit. That oil is helping protect the steak that's coming out of it. So we can blot a little bit, and we can do it a little bit more. I'm going to give it just a tick more because I want to show you slicing this thing, what it comes out to. So now my favorite temperature is 129.5. So we're going to go back over here. This is kind of the view that you weren't seeing. This is what I was doing earlier. I'm going to switch over. You can see us cooking this. Now, this has a common name of a Searzall. It's made by Booker and Dax company. It is not cheap. I'll give you that. This is not the cheapest way to sear it. And I could do just almost as good of a job, honestly, if I was to use a cast iron. And it's probably just a little faster, but this is going to give you the best presentation. And when I cut into this thing, you guys are going to be just amazed. Now, you don't technically have to really rest sous vide. So when you cook a regular steak and you cook the outside way too much, and then you wait for the heat soak to like give you that gray band that nobody likes to eat, you do have to let it rest because all those juices have to come in. Well, this thing's been sitting, resting it at under the cooking temperature for a long time now. Now we're talking color. This is a steak that I would be happy to serve. There we go. Any questions on the chat, Zach, or did they say they can't hear a thing now? Oh, I see a couple there. Nice. Okay, I'll read that out real quick. So chicken breast fillet, olive oil, Peri Peri Spices rub, 1 hour at 71 degrees Celsius. Oh, I was going to be like, 71 might be a little bit low for the ham. Alexa, what's 71 Celsius in Fahrenheit? Just help everybody out here.
71 degrees Celsius is 159.8 degrees Fahrenheit.
159? Yeah, 160. Not bad. One of the best chicken textures I've used. Also, 2-minute searing on each side without extra oil. So that's a really cool idea. So again, let me bring this back over here so you can see what I've done. That's a steak that might have just come off the grill. Now, you're going to see red come out of this. This is not blood. Your steak is not bleeding. It was gray if you saw it a minute ago. I forgot the technical term for this one, but most of my steak people will know it. It's not the Maillard reaction. This is actually something else that happens. It's not mycosin or something. It's something like that. But essentially what it is that's the steak's juices that are coming out. So that little pink that you see, and I'm going to see if I've got something. Don't have what I want to hold down on this steak yet. Let me see. Just look real quick. I'm not going to necessarily do this, but so when you cut into a ribeye steak, now this on the edge pieces is the lip. So there's going to be a little bit more red on the lip. I'm going to cut the fillet out here because the lip, some people like it more rare. I usually give them the lip piece when we're out cooking at a barbecue or something. I'm going to put that out there. And let's see if I can get this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So when you cut into a sous vide steak, it's going to look a little bit overdone. Like, again, everybody's like, this thing's bleeding all over. How's it overdone? I'm just making test bites here. So it's going to look a little bit gray on there, and the color is going to come back to it as it sits in the air. Takes it a couple minutes at most, but that color is going to come back. I'm going to bring that up to you, and I'm going to show you some of the other ones that I made here very soon. So there's that color you can see. What I love about it, and this one actually got a little bit with that sous vide, the Searzall. This one's so thin that it got a little bit cooked when I was doing the searing. So I would recommend this for a thicker one, or hit it with that hot cast iron because it does not take nearly as long with the cast iron. But there's the pieces that you see here. That's going to be really good. I'm going to have to set that one to the side here, and we're going to have to eat that. I'm going to try a little piece here just to see how it tastes. The Johnny's seasoning was where it's at. I like Johnny's with a little bit of black pepper. That's really good. I'm going to put that over here. You want a piece there? Sorry, that's all the fat on that one. Oh, you want the fat piece? Okay. We've got to feed our moderators over here. Our cameraman's looking hungry too. So we're getting close to the end here. I really do appreciate you guys doing this. I'm going to pull up just a couple more pictures of other steaks that I've made real fast with this because it is such a cool tool. And again, one of my favorite ways to make steak and fish. So let's pull this up and I'll pull you guys over here. So there's the cast iron method. And it is totally acceptable to do cast iron with this. It's cheap. It's not going to be $73 like the Searzall is. And it will do a good job. There is one of my best pictures there. That one, I don't think that's a ribeye. I think that's a strip steak. I think that's a strip or a top sirloin. But you can see that's what I love is you don't get that kind of gray gradation to correct to back to gray. You get that great looking texture. And of course, I was taking pictures of this. If you're following me on social media, you've already seen this. I've been teasing these guys for days with all the food that we're making. Let me pull up the Amazon page real quick for the Searzall. Now, again, you have to have the Bernzomatic attachment. Do not try this if you're not going to buy the Bernzomatic. I can tell you, the Searzall comes in a box. Looks very much like this. And if you don't have the correct attachment, so there's the Searzall, you have to set the spacing and everything right on this, or it could be a fire hazard, so be real careful. I had just a simple one, the hand start ones. Didn't work at all. It was like a pencil flame, and I had like a dot in the middle, and it wouldn't run upside down, and all sorts of issues. Part of it's because it aerates down here at the very end. So definitely don't use that. If you are going to do it, buy the Bernzomatic. I didn't link it, but it's the #1 thing that they buy with this torch. So it's not cheap if you want to get into that, but you'll get restaurant quality out of it as well. Awesome. I'm just going to make sure this thing's on high there. Get some of our smoke out. And let's double check here. So that was the Suve Searer. The last product here is up. And then we're going to do the giveaway here. So I've got to be real careful. I almost forgot the giveaway last week, and I felt so bad about that because everybody waited. I was having a week, but I'm already seeing giveaway entries popping in here. So we know that that part's working. Let me double check here. Want to make sure I'm getting the right settings here. Yep. Okay, good. We're going to pull those up here in just a second. The last product up is one that my wife demanded, essentially. She doesn't ask for much, and she's like, I have to have this. She's a big keto person. And why does somebody that does keto need a milkshake machine, basically, right? This is the Ninja Creami. I don't know if you can see that, Tim. You might. I might have to go wide on two. Let's see. There's the Ninja Creami here. And it's made by the Ninja Company, which makes just about everything. They make air fryers, stoves, blenders, all sorts of cool stuff. This one, I'm actually not even going to plug it in because it is so loud when it's running. But basically, the way I describe this is it's a drill press. It's a drill press for your food. And what's neat about it, you have to push the buttons down and get it right. So it's going to turn up to engage. It's going to take whatever is in this bowl or cup, and it's going to turn it basically into ice cream, sorbet, any of the settings on the front here, gelato, milkshakes. You can take vanilla ice cream, throw it in here, some Oreos, and you can make a McFlurry. Sorry, not trademark McFlurry. There's a guy that made a McFluffy, I think he called it, with the same ingredients. But you can do that, and it's called remixing or mix-ins. You can do that. It's one of the options in here. You can make your own ice cream from scratch if you really wanted to do that. Got a lot of different moving parts here, but the biggest thing, like I said, it's a drill press. That is a super duper sharp blade. Now, they've done a good job of keeping it protected. You can clean this real easy by pushing this over. But this is the Ninja Creami. So that's the blade which engages as you engage it. It's going to cog right into there. Now, they have cups that you use with this, and I'm going to go out and get one here. I think I have one handy. So that's another cost that you're going to have to factor in. I think you get 2 or 3 of these with the unit, but you're going to need more of these cups. So all of the stuff is done in these, essentially, I think they're a quart size. And I'm going to show you how we're going to make a sorbet with no fake ingredients. It is literally Dole pineapple bits, and it's supposed to be amazing. But we haven't got to taste it yet because this machine is so loud. I wanted to do this. It takes about 5 minutes to go through a whole cycle. So if you've ever made ice cream from scratch, way longer than 5 minutes. But this thing can do it in 5 minutes for the whole cycle on this one. I'm literally taking the Dole pineapple juice, pineapple tidbits in juice. Now, you don't use all of the juice, but you do use all of the tidbits we found. So here's how we do this. Take it. There's a max fill line on here, so respect the max fill line. Don't go over that. I'm going to dump those in. Now, what I would recommend is get all of the pineapple, and actually this one's almost there. It's a tick over the max fill line, and I don't have all the pineapple in, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab me apparently a ladybug spatula. And we're going to put that down there. Now, if you're interested in a guy that does a lot of these, there's a guy on YouTube called Ninja Creami Channel, and he showed me a lot of really cool stuff. That's the guy that's made the McFluffy, or whatever they're calling it now. And he's got some great recipes as well on there. So now I'm a little bit over on this one, so I don't want to have all of that juice. I'm going to pour a little bit of the juice out because I want the material in there, and I want it right at that max fill line. Now, I don't know, did we see Hops and Brews in there? Is he in the channel? Because he wanted me to say, and here's one I prepared earlier, because we're about ready to do the here's one I prepared earlier section of the show here. So that's exactly what you're going to put in the freezer. Now, this takes 24 hours. Most of the stuff except the milkshake takes 24 hours. And this one, I think we might end up having to respin. We'll see. Yeah. We've got so much ice cream in this freezer, I don't know how we call ourselves keto. I'm just saying, babe. If you're still watching. I'm going to put that in our freezer. Now, we did this one right before the show, and That thing's already frozen again here. You gonna try to see that? Let's see if we can see that. Okay. So that's the one we did right before the show, and it's definitely frozen a little bit more. I'm gonna see if I can get some ramekins, 3 spoons. No dietary things, Zach, with pineapple. It's only pineapple. There's no dairy in it. There's sugar, but it's just the natural sugars there. No added fancy sugars. And I want to see because, oh, okay. So the texture has changed a little bit to be a little bit more icy because we put it back in the freezer. But I'm going to show you there's a trick on this that we can kind of fix this. So I'm going to pull that out. Now, this is my wife's favorite thing. She actually did keto chow. I don't know if you guys are interested in that. It's like a protein shake. Nobody wants to sit there and drink protein shakes, but she loves ice cream. So she got this thing, and literally it comes out looking like almost like a, what's the Wendy's one, a Frosty? Oh, and I'm just knocking things over here. So it comes out looking like a Frosty. Let me show you guys what these are coming out at. So that's basically a sorbet. So I'm going to give one over here to you. And camera, is he going to nod? Like, here, we'll just hand one over to camera there. Oh, good shot. We'll try it out here. And if it separated at all, we may need to respin it. But essentially, not bad. It's a sorbet, right? It doesn't have any added sugar. So you're not getting that like blast of sugar that you would expect. But there's lots of really cool recipes. I'm going to pull this one up on the Amazon. So here we go. If you're looking for this is the Ninja Creami. Now, we have a kitchen with rose gold handles. Well, they look more like copper now, but my wife wanted the rose gold one. That's what she had to have. So I bought this before her birthday. And this one came with 2 16-ounce pints. And again, you can make just about everything. And like I said, it really is a drill press. So here's a picture of what it's actually doing. So it's going to drill through whatever ice that you have in there, and it's going to basically churn it up. And so that's the cool thing, is it's kind of like making ice cream. Sometimes the texture comes out, and the texture is like, it's kind of crumbly, especially with the keto chow. Just run it through the respin cycle. We did it 3 times yesterday, and then it was perfect. The last time it was perfect. The first 3 were just like, I'm like, does it need to warm up? Is that what's going on? So sometimes you can do that, but again, there's tons of things you can make with this. Your own ice creams. You can do the mix-ins. You can throw nuts in it. It's going to cut through all that stuff. There's, again, a really simple example of the pineapple version that we just made, right? That's one of the easiest ones, and you can do this with your kids, which is cool as well. And there's the mix-in example. So let me know in the comments what your favorite mix-in would be. When you go to, like, this would be, to me, this is like Cold Stone, except you're mixing it yourself instead of somebody hitting it with a bunch of paddles. So let me know what you guys would do for mix-ins on this one. We are about ready to do the drawing here. I'm just going to check the chat here, make sure I didn't miss anybody. No questions on that chat. There we go. And if you're having trouble seeing the unfilled form, Serene, just wait a second. It'll show up in just a second. I had to do something for those scammers that are out there, and it loads it via the browser versus the other way around. So if you want to get in on that live drawing here, you put your name, email, and what you want on the prize wheel. I'm going to go take a look real quick at the entries, so I have to get out of there before I log into the website and do that. If you have questions, let me know in the chat. Zach, I'm going to count on you to go scour the chat for any questions. And feel free to ask away. Like I said, next week is going to be really fun. That's when we're going to do the gaming tech. I'm going to be back in my studio downstairs. I won't have the schmuck. I'm going to go ahead and look here, and we'll see how quickly I can copy this over to the live spinner wheel. And if you do want to know any more about any of the products I showed here today, in fact, actually, you know what? I didn't even plate these the proper way. Let me pull these over here. We're going to have some chicken wings I got to finish up making here when we're done. But let me pull some of these out, and I'm going to show you what they look like when they're properly plated. Because guess what? I cheated. And beforehand, as John would be unhappy about, I made garnish trays. So while we're doing that, there's the tray, and I'm going to I'm gonna have to move the Ninja Creamy out of the way here. Sorry, guys. It is enormous, but super skinny actually, so it does fit on the counter. We keep it in the other side most of the time. So we're gonna plate this up real quick. This is the chicken wings, and I made these the other day, and I was just putting them on Facebook, and everyone was like, "When am I coming over?" And we talked about them being crispy on the outside, right? And you can see that they absolutely are. The lettuce is super cold. Put them across here. Get that last one on there, the drum. There we go. So that is one batch of air fryer wings. Now you can actually make the wings much easier. Do a second batch, load it all up, put some garnish on the side. So that's one recipe down. I'm going to bring this over here, come back to you. Oh, we got topping suggestions. Okay, I like that. We'll go take a look. Second item up, okay, we've got our asparagus. Now, I may actually put this back in just for a few minutes when we go to eat this because I want to do that. What I do is I grab that first layer I told you to put sideways. Grab that in the first tonging. We'll put that there. It doesn't need a bed of green to lay on because it's already green. Now, what you can do here, and we're not going to do this, but like I said, you could actually do Parmesan right on top of this, but Tim is our anti-Parmesan league. That's okay. My daughter doesn't like cheese, actually, and she just doesn't like it. So we're going to keep these as is. Again, super cool that all of the extra oil was kept in the bottom of this. And this thing is really, really easy to clean. I'm trying to get that last piece of asparagus on here. So there you go. So that is the asparagus plate that we made. An entire thing of asparagus in 7 minutes from scratch. 400 degrees in the air fryer. I think that turned out good. This is the air fryer with the handle. Again, you slide that back, that safety back, and then you can lift it out. And not too much oil there because, again, we were doing the cooking without loading them down with a bunch of oil. And then you can take this and drop it right in the sink. So there you go. Just one more reminder on that air fryer. This is the recipe guidebook I was telling you about. Lots of really cool. There's okra. So if you wanted a stuffed okra recipe, there's Indian, there's ethnic cuisines in here, all sorts of stuff. Potato fritter sliders. There you go. I'm down with that. Tandoori naan pizza bread. There was a really cool pizza, like an English muffin pizza or a bagel bites pizza recipe in here. So that's another thing that comes with the air fryer. So I want to thank those guys for sending that out. Let me double check. Did I miss anything yet, Zach? Other than the giveaway? Okay. We'll take James on. He's doing good over here, keeping us on. Rum raisin. Whoa. Marble slab. Awesome. Strawberry shortcake, white chocolate, graham crackers. That's what's missing. Yeah. That'd be cool because you can kind of like crack graham crackers on top, but you can never mix in graham cracker into yours. So that's A+ there, by the way, on there. I'm going to go here to our form, and hopefully we got a few entries in here. And you know what? I didn't check to see total on the website here. I've got 13 submissions on this part of the giveaway. That's more than I had yesterday, so I will take it. Date submitted. I'm going to download these. Give me 1 second. I'm going to export as CSV. You know all about this. Export to CSV. Then you got to copy it into Excel. Download. And if you guys, like I said, have questions about any of these products. Oh, apparently it's a JSON file. Wow. Okay. Maybe I should have done this part before. Let me pull this up. We're going to see how strong the nerdery is here with the Nick guy. We're in Excel. We're going to get data from external file. From JSON, apparently. It takes it. Okay. I just need columnar data, right? Isn't that what it is? Okay. Here we go. Download that. We're live giveaway. Show in folder. Caesar's John downloads. Let me know in the chat too what your favorite product today was. I'm trying to obviously make these more interesting. If we need to go faster, let me know too as well. I know this is kind of the dinner hour for most people, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Source, view, convert into table. There we go. Close and load. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know what? I might have to do this the old way. Give me 1 second here. Almost had to call in the nerds. It was really tough. I'm going to go ahead and look real quick here on my forms, submissions. One other field. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to do this one the old way. Spinning. Spinner wheel, because we got a few people in here. And I will do, because I didn't have the time since I'm doing this, I'm actually going to do the second level giveaway because I know we had that. So I'll do first, second, and third. Second and third, you're going to get the Sensora. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I got the right submissions. So you're going to get the Sensora meat thermometer. And next time I'm going to have this all automated because I was like, what if we get like 30 of these? I don't want to have to type them. Luckily, we're just looking at lucky number 13. And I won't have to do live JSON conversion. I'm sure I could write something, right, that does that. Being a nerd and all. Uh-oh, Serene entered twice. Okay. And that's going to be a funny name if that comes up. I can't show that one. Matthias, thank you so much for watching, by the way, and welcome to America. I was talking to you on Facebook. Congratulations on finally getting here. He's been trying to get stateside for a long time now, and I really do appreciate that. We got GenBot in there. I got the Rev in here. He's going to get an entry. And let's see. We got the Smith in here. And I just want to make sure that was the entries on this page. I think there was one extra here. Okay. Again, sorry for the delays there, but we are trying to make this as fair as possible. Okay. And we're going to go full screen. Can everybody see the spinning wheel? Now, I didn't actually go through here and set the names properly. Let me give me 1 second. I got to go into the settings of this. Because I got to remove after, isn't it remove after win? You know what? I'm just going to go full screen. We're just going to go for it. Okay, is everybody ready? And 3, 2, 1. This is for the Tick Time. Tick Time. Awesome Mom JH. He won the Tick Time. Okay, we got to make sure I write this down. Awesome Mom. And I'll go cross-reference that with the other record. We're going to do the drawing for the first one. I'm going to remove all instances of her. We're going to do a drawing for the first Sensora meat thermometer. And we're going to do it again. Here we go. Let's spin a little faster that time. Matthias, there we go. There you go. Yeah. Okay, you are in there for the first of that. And again, let me show you what you're actually won here. This is that instant read thermometer. If you're doing any sort of cooking and you're worried about holding temperatures, this is the one to have here. So very happy to get you that, and I will send that over to you right away. And the last one, this is for the third place. This is going to be the extra one. And oh gosh, GenBot won it. GenBot won the second one. Okie dokie, and there it is. So that was the drawing. Thank you guys again for watching. Let me double check my notes here. We talked about the Ninja. We talked about some of the cool stuff. Again, reminder, take a look at Ninja Creamy on YouTube if you want some recipe ideas. That's where I got a lot of mine here. We may want to respin that one just to make sure it gets the texture back here the longer it sits. I think I've covered that. I'm going to double check one more time the Q&A. Make sure I didn't miss anything over there. So Kren's giving us a tip for the bags. So that was a while ago, but yeah, he definitely gave us kind of that same thing, so you can have a good clean seal on the plastic. Perfect. Awesome. For health ice cream for classic Heath bar, man. For ice cream editions, there we go. Some chopped maraschino cherries. Ooh, that would be good in ice cream. Oh, blended drinks. Now wait a second here. We might Amazon. You're not allowed to do that, so can't do that. Well, did I miss anything, Zach? I think we covered it all. I really do appreciate it, guys. Again, if you haven't followed already, take a look at my Amazon page. Give me a follow. If you do purchase stuff on Amazon, it gives me a tiny, tiny itty bitty commission. Following honestly helps more. It gets me to the A-list. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys, Zach and Tim, for your help in making the production tonight possible. And with that, I'm going to catch you guys in the next video.